Welcome
to the GCN Show.
From the German-Polish border, Poland's across the river, welcome to the GCN Show.
Hi guys, welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
This week we reignite the age-old debate. Who are better, mountain bikers or roadies? And we also try to answer the question, would Peter Sagan have won gold at the Olympics?
We also have a self-filling water bottle for tech of the week. We've got some epic hacks and bodges and a whole load of the best cycling stories from the week.
Self-filling water bottle.
I know.
Time now for the caption competition, and last week we had this picture of a rather unfortunate rider upside down at the velodrome in Rio, and the winner is Garrett B with the caption of "Sometimes you've got to go against the grain."
Yeah, very good.
That is good actually, yeah, well done.
Get in touch with us with the message on Facebook, and we will be sending you out a limited edition GCN Camelback bottle in the post. And I think now it's probably a good time to mention that although these will remain limited edition, on the shop now you can pre-order a red version of our Camelback GCN bottle.
Yeah.
The first time you've ever been able to buy a GCN bottle, and many of you have been requesting it. So if you were one of those, make sure you head over there ASAP.
Definitely. Well, this week's picture is from the Olympic BMX race. Simon, take it away.
All right, gonna roll up my metaphorical sleeves.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Oh yeah. What do you mean I've been disqualified for wearing a suit? It's a suit!
That was moderately good.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah. Moderate.
You've set the bars as the highest point we've ever set a bar in a caption competition.
Take my Camelback bottle now, thank you very much.
If you can do any better than that, then as per usual, you can leave your captions in the comment section just below this video, and we'll pick a winner this time next week.
If one is good enough, might give you the bottle back. Only if you're lucky.
On Sunday in Rio in the men's Olympic mountain bike race, Swiss superstar Nina Schurter took gold. Now we're going to leave the ins and outs and all the details and the results to our noisy friends next door at GMBN. But what we are really interested in is, would Peter Sagan have won gold had he not punctured?
Yeah, what little of the race he did contest before his untimely mechanical was mightily impressive, because a lot of people had speculated it was going to be very difficult for Peter Sagan to make any impact, given he was gridded right at the back, a placing that ordinarily would take most riders completely and utterly out of contention.
That was my excuse for several years.
Meaning he was going to have to pretty much overtake the entire field to put himself in any sort of contention.
But that is exactly what he did. It took him about a minute, in fact. After 30 seconds, he was up into the top 10. Yeah. And then just when it really mattered, before the first section of single track, he was in third place. Now, admittedly, it was no World Cup. The field at the Olympics was much, much smaller. And in a World Cup, it is really difficult to improve on your grip position quickly. But nevertheless, that was seriously impressive.
And it was, I think, at that point that every road fan watching suddenly thought that this could be on the cards, that he might create a huge upset, at least win a medal, maybe even the gold one. But then, on lap 2, disaster struck and he got a puncture, which effectively took him out of the running, and then later on in the race, another puncture, which pretty much took him out of the race altogether. So let's end all this speculation and try to decipher whether or not Peter Sagan would have won gold without those punctures.
No. Well, firstly, the whole mountain bikers versus road riders is a really interesting debate, because many top mountain bikers have gone on to be very successful on the road. Take Ryder Hesjedal, for example, Cadel Evans, and more recently Jakob Fuglsang, who got a silver medal in the road race in Rio. And also some very average mountain bikers have gone on to become particularly average road riders as well. And I think it takes time to adapt to the different disciplines. I mean, Nino Schurter, for example, rode the Tour of Romandy and the Tour of Switzerland whilst riding for Orica Green Edge in 2014 and didn't make much of an impression at all. No. So Peter Sagan has hardly had any time at all to adapt to the demands of mountain biking from the end of the Tour de France to his debut in Rio. Now, I think he would have struggled because he wouldn't have necessarily had the kind of muscle endurance to meet the demands, or really specific demands, of cross-country mountain biking. Take, for example, high power, low velocity pedalling, and also the fact that mountain bikers during a race spend about 80% of the time above their lactate threshold, which is completely different to the road.
Yeah.
Good stat. I am actually in agreement with Matt. I don't think that Peter Sagan would have won the gold medal. You are right, Si. I was hugely impressed with getting to the top 10 in 30 seconds, then up to third. But then again, that is what he specialises in out on the road, those very short efforts and manoeuvring around a bunch of riders. I personally think he would have faded towards the end, just because on the road, you very rarely make very long 90-minute efforts. And of course, in a mountain bike race, you've got very little time to recover between each, which you do have on the road. And he also seemed to have that road mentality, that one of keeping it on the wheel at all costs. And when he did get that puncture and saw that front group sail up the road, it did feel like he kind of pulled the pin in his head.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm going to say no as well, for a number of different reasons, but mainly because I don't actually think you can separate the punctures from the result, because although it could well have been bad luck, the fact they had 2 punctures suggests that maybe there was an element of, I don't know, he'd set up his bike wrong, or he was perhaps just a little bit heavier than his competitors, or maybe even that he just didn't have quite the silky skills that he used to have. And therefore, being able to get to the finish line, having not punctured, is a key component to becoming an Olympic champion. So maybe that's the reason. I am loath to say that, but
Yeah, I kind of really wanted him to win, I must admit.
I did.
Well, I saw him in third
I
place.
did too.
But fair play for giving it a crack, because I think it's potentially drawn a lot more people in for the first time to watch mountain biking at that sort of level.
Probably much better for us coming in and see GMBN this morning, wouldn't it? One thing we do know for certain after a scientific poll which was conducted before the race is that Peter Sagan did draw in a significant extra audience for that mountain bike race. 65% of people questioned that they were only watching it because he was in it.
And the sample pool was completely and utterly unbiased and impartial.
No, completely unbiased. Yeah, that's correct, sir.
That's what we think though, but the question is, what do you guys think? Would Sagan have won a medal, or was he always going to come unstuck in the latter part of the race? Let us know in the comment section.
We're now getting very close to Eurobike, which is arguably the biggest trade show of the year. So the cycling industry are really gearing themselves up for what will be a tech tidal wave or extravaganza. And we've got our own extravaganza because we'll be down on the ground reporting directly from Eurobike. But in the meantime, get this for a little bit of tech.
Oh yeah.
Listen in. The world's first, we think, self-filling water bottle.
It sounds completely bizarre, and that's because it is.
Yeah.
But apparently it does work. How, I hear you ask?
How?
Well, it cools hot, humid air using its electrically powered element and then collects the condensed water drop that's in the bottle, should I say, giving up to ½ a litre of water per hour.
Yeah, now it does rely on certain climatic conditions.
Okay.
So it doesn't work quite as effectively in hot and dry conditions, i.e. when you really need it. But still, it's a self-filling water bottle. What more do you need?
I'd imagine it works particularly well in the rain. I used to have a self-filling water bottle. I used to ride around with a water bottle with the lid off in the rain. We've got an absolutely bazzing competition for you this week, courtesy of our friends at Science in Sport.
You can win.
That
Check it
signed
out.
Team Sky jersey, signed by all the squad, including triple Tour de France winner Chris Froome, no less. But as well as the jersey, we get this 4-hour fuel pack from SIS. What's in there, Dan?
Yeah, everything you need to get through 4 hours effectively. So you've got a number of different gels, you've got your recovery stuff for afterwards, you've got energy bars here at the bottom as well. There's more stuff in there, and you get a Team Sky bottle as well. So
And
very
not
cool
only
prize.
that, there are 4 runners-up prizes of this 4-hour fuel pack as well. So get entering, and you can enter via the link below this video.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
We'll start cycling shorts this week with the news that scientists have discovered the greatest athlete in the world, or the greatest athlete over 100 years of age. Step or shuffle forward Robert Marchand of France. Now the Frenchman has become the over 100-hour record holder with an eye-watering, get this, 26.93 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts, isn't it? Now, New Scientist magazine reported that researchers in the University of Burgundy have actually been looking into the effects of aging on athletic performance. And they think that Marchand is the greatest athlete because he's only 50% slower than world hour record holder Bradley Wiggins. Whereas, to put it in comparison, the 100-metre sprint in athletics record holder is 64.5% slower than Usain Bolt. But the best thing to come out of all of this is that they've concluded that cyclists decline at a slower rate than other sports people. How cool is that? Yeah.
I expect Robert started at a slightly higher level than we did, but nevertheless, still very good to
Probably,
hear.
yeah.
Now, as you all know, we do like a bit of epic enduro road here at GCN. It always feels like it's a very short hop from there over to the world of bike packing. And fans of that will be very pleased to hear the announcement of the Oregon Timber Trail. It's 650 miles in length and it's going to bisect the entire state on single track and logging roads. They're hoping to have it rideable by next year and completed with signage and a guidebook by 2020. Now, if I ever heard of a GMBN versus GCN challenge, this has got to be it, because we would nail that.
I think we would smoke that, for sure.
Let's get it sorted. Let me just walk down this bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you turn that camera off a minute?
The cycling transfer no longer rumour mill is still in full swing, because just after last week's GCN show was released, Philippe Gilbert announced that he was going to Ethics Quickstep, which makes them now a formidable force in the hilly classics as well as the cobble classics, because he'll be joining Dan Martin and Julian Alaphilippe.
Yeah,
some big guns there.
That's some very good riders right there. Team Sky have also announced the signings of 2 young British talents. The first of those is Owen Dool of Team Wiggins, fresh home now from Rio, of course, after winning the team pursuit with Team GB there, shall I say. Meanwhile, Theo Gegenhardt is the other rider they've signed from Team Action. He's currently competing at the Tour de l'Avenir in France.
Indeed, and Ellen van Dijk, the former 2013 World Time Trial Champion, joins Liv Planter. They're really strengthening their lineup for 2017. She comes across from Bols Dormans.
Yeah, Jurgen van den Broek, he's leaving Katusha after just 1 year and joining Lotte NL Jumbo, presumably to strengthen their climbing talent to support Kruiswijk.
Yeah, you'd have thought so.
You would.
Katusha, meanwhile, though, have signed another rider. That is the current under-23 World Time Trial Champion, Mads Verst Schmidt. Apologies for the mispronunciation. It's time for Hack / Bodge of the Week. Matt's going to get started.
3 fully on point slashes right there. First up is this from Mathieu Caderet of Montreal in Canada, who's hand painted his Giro Empire cycling shoes.
Those are pretty cool.
Hand painted them well.
Absolutely stunning. Pro, that's a definite, that's a bob-on hack.
I'd say hack.
You think? Yeah, hack. Stenciled. Very cool.
He's done a very good job of that. They look very neat indeed. Meanwhile, Cedar Oats has found a random pole in his garden. Presumably it's been there for quite some time, but he's decided to utilise that by making a bike stand out of it. It's a bodge, isn't it? But
it's a full
useful
bodge.
It's a useful bodge, but I sincerely hope it's not plugged into the mains.
I'd suggest, first things first, you remove the pole from your garden.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'd suggest the next one did plug into the mains, to be honest.
Well, check this out. This is super cool. This is a dynamo rear hub that charges a phone. This was spotted by Stephen Stinton in Malang, Indonesia. And that, to my mind, I don't understand it. So I think it's a hack.
Well, copper coils there.
I don't understand it either, but I would say that's a bodge just because of the way it looks. It's not very sophisticated, is it?
No, a definite bodge.
What? Come on, he's charging his phone off his back wheel.
Sidler Michael has sent this one in that he spotted. It looks like some drop bar ends on the end of some wide mountain bike bars.
Homemade drop handlebars.
Somebody's quite aero, but with wide bars scooping all the air in, so that's a definite bodge. And what else have we got?
My word, look at that.
Ben Woodburner has put this on, and it's a little coffee table made of 2 sets of old school handlebars. And do you know
I like
what?
that.
That is very attractive.
That's a hack, that. Do you think his name is actually Woodburner? That's a bit
I
weird,
thought
isn't
at
it?
first he was talking about a woodburner, but that's his surname.
It's Ben Woodburner. Cool name. Right then, and then finally, we have
on earth
the ultimate hack.
No, I really don't know what's going on.
A homemade electric bike using a drill.
Oh!
That is definitely not a hidden motor, is it?
No.
Quite
But why?
So
the funny thing though is where his crank's gone. So if his drill runs out of batteries, he's got no way of powering his bike.
He's going to have to drill the wrong way, anti-clockwise as well, isn't he?
So
drills go both ways, don't they?
So we just rest his foot on that bit of wood, and then the other foot will just go round and round.
That has got to be the ultimate bodge.
The biggest bodge we've possibly ever seen.
Possibly,
Is
yeah.
it the biggest?
Can't go round any left-hand corners either too steeply.
No, good
I would
point.
love to see that in action. Anyway, if you have got any more hacks or bodges that you would like to send our way, we always love to see them. You can use the hashtag GCNHack on various forms of social media, including Instagram, Twitter and Facebook.
I still can't get over that.
By the way, thanks to Michael Thompson for sending that one in. Crazy man. The final Grand Tour of the year, the Vuelta España, started last week. And despite the length of the opening team time trial, the top two teams were separated by just 0.5 seconds, with Team Sky getting the better of Movistar and Pete Kenyak being the first rider across the line, and therefore the man to wear the red leader's jersey.
Yeah, good start to it then for both Chris Froome and Nairo Quintana, but the same can't be said for the rest and our picks in particular. Although, Si, your pick, Esteban Chaves, didn't do too badly. They finished third Orica Bike Exchange and only conceded 6 seconds. However, Matt was almost as disappointed as Alberto Contador at Tinkoff's performance. They lost 50 seconds. And then there's my pick, which was Astana and therefore Miguel Angel Lopez. They had a disaster at the start of the race with a mechanical problem for the Colombian and conceded 58 seconds. Oof. And Larsie's prediction, I don't think we should even talk about.
Well, do you know what? I think we should talk about it. Pierre Latour and the rest of his AG2R team lost 1 minute 48 seconds, which is a ridiculous amount of time to concede or leak on day one of the race. But anyway, stage 2 was a bunch sprint. That was won by Gianni Meersman of Belgium and Etix Quickstep. In fact, that was his first win in a Grand Tour. And second was Michael Schwartzman of Bora Argon 18. And third was Magnus Cort Nielsen of Orica Bike Exchange, not Borica Bike Exchange. Fourth was Michal Kwiatkowski, and that moved him into the red jersey, taking that away from teammate Peter Kenyak. Oh, and talking of the Vuelta, I managed to have a quick chat with Chris Froome ahead of the race. Here's what he had to say.
I mean, it's definitely been a pretty full-on program, busy program this last couple of months. But I mean, yeah, I'm happy to be here. The Vuelta's a race I've always enjoyed doing. It's a bit more relaxed than the Tour de France, but at the same time, it's a Grand Tour. It's a 3-week race. It's got probably a lot more climbing than in the Tour, a lot more summit finishes. For me personally, I'm just going to have to see how the first week goes. Of course, I'd love to be up there on GC, fighting it out with the main guys, but right now I don't know how realistic that is. I think we're just going to have to take it really just one day at a time. Yeah, let's see. I mean, we've got a strong lineup here, and hopefully a team that will gel well.
Meanwhile, 2 rounds of the Women's World Cup took place last week in Vargarda in Sweden. The first of those was a team time trial that was taken out by the Bulls Dorman squad, and then on Sunday there was a 141-kilometre road race. Now that was won by local favourite Emilia Farlin of the Ale Cipollini squad. She'd forged clear with 8 other riders on one of the last dirt sectors of the race and out-sprinted them all for the biggest win in her career so far.
A fantastic victory for some of the worst kit in the Pro Peloton.
Don't like it.
So Italian, that
it's just, well, I'm just not feeling that at all.
It's
just a bit rank, isn't it?
It's fluo. It's time for GCN's Wattage Bazooka!
Now, first up, have you ever wondered just how prestigious a Wattage Bazooka is?
I have, actually.
Yeah, we all have. It's this prestigious. Whoa. Check it out.
Dan Lloyd, member of the Tour de France, he awarded you the Wattage Bazooka t-shirt.
We've nominated you and we're going to give you the Wattage Bazooka t-shirt.
You remember that?
I did, yeah.
Is that hanging up at home? Do you know what it is?
It's framed. It's right there next to the yellow jerseys.
I thought it might be. Chris, thank you very much indeed.
Ooh, hanging up next to the yellow jersey.
Not surprising.
That's amazing.
No, it's pretty punchy. Right, okay, anyway, who is the Wattage Bazooka going to this week? It's the first, by our reckoning, ever off-road Wattage Bazooka. That's right, it's a dirt bazooka, and it goes to Jenny Risford, who is the 22-year-old newly crowned Olympic mountain bike champion. She was unbelievable. A breakthrough performance, absolutely stole the show with a devastating last lap attack. So I think she's a worthy winner.
Yeah, presumably we'll hang her Wattage Bazooka t-shirt once we give it to her next to her gold medal, you'd have thought, given Chris Froome's press.
Maybe the gold medal sort of draped over the top of the Wattage Bazooka t-shirt.
Yeah, that would look nice. Yeah. Now, on to the viewer Wattage Bazooka. Thoroughly deserving victory of that this week. It goes to Benedikt Schneider, who has overcome cystic fibrosis, testicular cancer and a lung transplant.
Wow.
And is now cycling around the Alps in Austria. So very well done to you.
That's super cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, congratulations. Enjoy it. And make sure that you keep these Wattage Bazookas coming on most social media platforms using this hashtag.
In Tweet of the Week this week, Dom has chosen an absolute perler from the newly retired Joaquim Rodriguez, and this was him and his family supporting Carlos Coloma in the Olympic mountain bike race. And he says, "Toma y a Carlos Coloma medalla de bronce, esos bigatazos al poder."
Very good.
How long did you live in Spain for? That's amazing.
Quite a long time, actually, yeah.
Time for us to select a few of our favourite comments underneath the various videos from the last 7 days. The first of those came underneath last week's GCN show and specifically referred to Extreme Corner, which of course featured Mr. Tom last. Michael O'Connor wrote in and said, "You could say Sven got the last laugh."
That is good. I like that. Nice.
Full of comedians this week, comments.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I go for my back brake and I go and hit the front brake because it's the first time I saw a rider hanging in a tree.
And this one is from underneath the Vuelta previous show.
Pierre Latour. Oh my word.
Samuel Stasko, who said, "Pierre Latour? You must have meant Pierre La Vuelta."
These are just our kind of standard.
Ah, God, I love a pun. Right, and Romans 5/8 said, "Did Lasty inhale a squeaky dog toy like that little boy in the viral video?"
Sorry, Dan's so serious today. He's got to get it out. I just can't.
Oh, and this one came in underneath Alberto Contador's bike from
Fitting that
Simon
you read this one out,
Grau.
Dan.
He's got standard Shimano Dura Ace Di2 group set, 11 to 28 currently.
That's not Di2, you utter noob.
Who presented that video?
Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble this morning for that. I was a bit disappointed.
Do you need to say what you got in trouble for?
Yeah, I mistook Di2 for mechanical group set. It'd been a long day and a long trip.
Roberts, yeah. Sorry about that.
And finally, underneath the Team Time Trial piece that Matt did with Team Sky out at the Vuelta, Matthew Kitney said, "At 4 minutes and 55 seconds, it seems Alberto Contador is teasing Matt off camera, only to receive a wink back." Check this out.
Yeah, I think it's always a challenge because there are always different lineups.
Top skills. On the channel this week, on Wednesdays, how to track stand.
It'll help you to improve your balance on the bike, and I think a track stand just looks really cool too. If you get really good at them, we might even teach you to do a no-handed one. I won't be teaching that module.
And on Thursday, 6 tips for younger riders.
On Friday, we have Ask GCN Anything, and on Saturday, we take a closer look at the Colnago time trial bike from Team Gazprom Ruspelo.
Right, on Sunday we've got a very special double header. We've got a GCN challenge where we find out what is the best mode of transport to be a tourist.
Yeah, it's cool, this one.
Oh yeah, and then we've got a very special unboxing where we actually release a new product and then you win it. Or you possibly can win it, yeah. And then on Monday, not to sound like an anti-climax or anything, but Dan tells you how to clean your bar tape.
Which is important.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely a good skill to have.
You've got white bar tape.
Yeah, very important
Definitely.
indeed.
Black bar
And
tape
then on
as well.
Tuesday,
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
I'm Keith Bontrager. Welcome to the GCN Show.
It's time now for Extreme Corner, and Olympic track star Sir Chris Hoy, who retired, you remember, after London 2012, has now got back on 2 wheels, so to speak.
Uh-oh, I think I've broken it. That's the full length of the runway.
He's gonna have a massive grin on his face.
Oof, not a bad effort that. He's pretty good in the car, isn't he? And apparently that only took him 2 days to learn. It takes mere mortals a lot longer.
Definitely a lot longer than that, yeah.
Crikey, well it is. Right, unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the GCN show, but don't panic, because there's more GCN content out there. In fact, you could do a lot worse than clicking up there to watch the GCN Aero Challenge. Just how much time can you save?
Or you could click just down here for the art of the Team Time Trial with Team Sky that I shot out at the Vuelta a few days back.
Yeah, and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. All you've got to do is click on the globe. You'll also find a link up here to our shop where you can pre-order that bottle.
Don't forget to like and share.